We want to welcome everybody to the first 2025-26 school year of the RedGen Podcast. I am joined by some amazing scholars, representations of the RedGen program. To my left, I want you to say your first name, last name, grade.
Hi, my name is Nyriah Bailey, and I am in the 11th grade.
Hey, Nyriah.
My name is Catori Turner, and I am in the 9th grade.
Hey, Catori.
This for last.
My name is Jamarion McGruder, and I am 11th grader.
What up, Jamarion?
And it's the best in the house to see your Lyrique Jackson.
Well, hey, Lyrique.
Hey.
And we are your RedGen team for your podcast for the 2025-26 school year. I am simply adored by what we're talking about today because I predicate my life on some of these aspects, especially in a school environment. Today, the topic is about responsibility, respect, accountability, and also community and culture inside our school. So I say we dive right into it. You know, normally podcasts have little creative icebreakers, but we're going to dive right into it, all right? So I'm going to start first with Jamarion, all right? Could you kind of tell me, you know, when you hear the word respect, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
With me, the first thing that comes to mind is treating others the right way or treating others the way you want to be treated. Because I feel like with respect, it's more of like, it's like a mutual thing between people. Like, you treat people how you want to be treated, and yeah, simple like that.
So, Nyriah, when you hear responsibility as a high school student, what's something that just immediately comes at you?
I think when you think about responsibility, that means like staying on top of your work, just being like good to the culture. You want to like stay up effectively, like you want to be important. You know? I just think that's what responsibility means.
Thanks for that answer, Lyrique. I definitely say this one for you. Should respect be earned in order to be given?
Oh, you know, we say this plenty of times. I think respect is earned. I think respect should be given to people like when you first meet them. However, especially as a student, as a person who's underage, a lot of adults tend to believe that they deserve respect no matter how they treat you. And I don't think that's right. I'm going to respect everybody I meet. However, if you disrespect me, I don't think I owe you the same level of respect that I would owe anybody else.
I think that's big time. Anybody on the panel oppose, agree? If you give it agree, this is like the universal, you know.
Agree.
I agree with Lyrique. Because there's been some situations that I've experienced where, you know, people be like, just because I'm an adult or I'm older than you, then you gotta do whatever I say, you gotta listen to everything I do, and they just treat you any type of way. But I feel like like I said, it's a mutual thing. If you treat me a type of way, expect that back. But as students, sometimes I feel like we have to sometimes we have to be the bigger person, even though we're not in the situation. We're the scholar, we're under the teachers or whatever. But there are some teachers that, you know, they do feel like, oh, they can talk to you any type of way and they just get all the respect or whatever. But in that situation, you don't have to disrespect them back. You could just move on or, you know, talk to somebody else about it and stuff like that.
That's well spoken, Catori. Before I come to you, something I want to say, just through observation in my years, in regards to respect when it comes from the student and the staff level. This is one thing that hasn't actually faded into black, or just it isn't different from when I've been going to school all the way to right now. I think sometimes as a student, you look at, you know, your teachers and your staff like, oh, they have to come to work every day, you know, they have to teach, and, you know, pretty much that's it. And I remember like kind of like being a student and looking at them in a robotic type of way, you know, and not thinking like, hey, these teachers go home to families, they have things that they have. So when they come to work, yeah, they might, you know, and it comes with development, and it comes with actually experience, right? You know, leaving your personal things at home, but they're humans too. You get what I'm saying? So I remember as a student, I used to always have to tell, you know what, they're human. And that got me through the day. Even if they was having a rough day, that got me through like, you know what, they're no different than me. They human. You're right. If I had to say you right, I'm sorry. It's because, you know, that's just one thing I wanted to put out there.
And I agree with that too, because it's like, I mean, of course, me saying that like respect is earned and not given, when I say that, like, I don't have to give them the same amount of respect, I don't mean it as, like, I'm going to disrespect you because I don't respect you. I just mean, like, I wouldn't go out of my way for a person who clearly doesn't respect me as a person.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of times adults tend to forget that, like, especially high schoolers. Our high school year, like, psychologically is one of the most, like, emotionally draining and eventful years of our lives. And people tend to forget that we're on that brink of, like, we're almost adults, but we're not adults. So we have responsibilities of adults, but we're not treated as an adult. And we're going through all these hormonal issues and emotions and drama and boys and girls and relationships and stuff like that. So I feel like sometimes we can be overlooked. And it's more of just, like, bringing that awareness, but then also understanding, okay, maybe this person doesn't respect me, but I don't have to get back at them. I can just allow them to feel the way they do and step away from it.
I thank you for utilizing your voice and state some of those things, because there's going to be people who watch that who needs to hear that. Now, kind of like a shout-out section, Catori, all right, for you. Name somebody, if you can, who demonstrates respect and shows respect on the student level and the staff level.
So you want me to give an example of a student and a staff?
There you go.
Okay, I say a staff, I gotta give it to the principal.
Okay.
Because I feel like
Shout out to Ms. Coates.
I feel like as her as a principal, she deals with students that come in disrespectful, kids who come in having bad days, parents who come in bad days, and she still maintains the respect level. She maintains, like, I'm not gonna get angry with you. I'm gonna keep it respectful. I'm gonna keep it mature, and I'm gonna tell you like this, like that. She keep it simple and respectful. And on a student-based level, that's a good question.
If you want to come back, you come back, because I kind of want to. I love giving people their flowers, and I think you just gave the leader of our school her flowers at that time. We need to hear more of that. Trust me. Anybody else on the team want to, staff, student? You like, you know what? This hit me in a way, in terms of respect, that we can shout out.
I like to give a shout out to Miss Lloyd, because this is my first year in RedGen, and she came in with the, like, open arms. She made me feel like I was accepted. She always hear my problems and needs. And she just, when you think about, like, student counselor, somebody you can go to, like, your administration, people really don't think about Miss Lloyd, but I do, because she just always helped me, and she just be always listening. Like, she the type of person you can go to her to just listen, and then she gonna give you feedback though too. But
well put it like this: there's power in the word no. So when Miss Lloyd asked me to do certain things, there's only certain people I can say no to, and she's not one of them. You guys learn that as you get older. Like, when she asked me to do something, I'm definitely here and I'm up for the challenge. Anybody else? Thank you for that. If not, that's okay. We'll save it for the next segment. I just like to give flowers and give everybody their just due. I saw you. I thought you was moving the mic.
I have a student shout out. I have a friend. Her name is Angelina. Angelina
Stewart.
I think it's Mans. Or I don't really know her last.
Oh, that's the staff you talk about.
No, the student.
Student Angelina Mans. Okay, I know you talk about. Shout out to you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't like when I just think of people like, I know people go through stuff and people be like mad a lot and stuff like that, but it's very rare that you see her mad. And if something is going on, she always just talks in like a respectful manner and just a calm tone. She's never yelling at nobody or mad at everybody. She always just being cool or whatever. So shout out to her.
All right. Hey, I want to dive into our next topic, and it's revolving around school culture. But before we get there, it's something that it's an important intricate with school culture that I feel like I want to take a deep dive into until we totally talk about that. And that's this word accountability, So I start off with you, Catori. When you hear the word accountability, what comes to your head? What pops to your head?
I feel like when I hear the word accountability, what pops really in my head is just you taking responsibility for your actions and remembering that it's consequences for every action. It's either a reward or you get a consequence.
Jamarion, what's something on a daily basis that you feel like you have to exercise that sense of accountability for?
I'm gonna be very honest and transparent right now. Sometimes I do get a little disrespectful towards people or whatever. And, I don't think in a moment that I'd be wrong and stuff like that, but I have to take a second to just think about the situation and think about my actions. And then that's when the accountability comes into play, because it's like, okay, I did this, so I need to go to the people that I either got into it with or something like that, or the people I know, just rubbed wrong or whatever. I go to them, tell them like, I'll take accountability for that. I didn't mean for it to come off this way or whatever. And then that's when I just sit back and think like, okay, what could I have done that was different so that this don't happen again?
What you're talking about right now is the act of reflection, being able to reflect and process, what took place and things like that. So Nyriah, all right, and it doesn't have to be anything this week. It could be something from last summer or as soon as early as yesterday. If you reflected on something, and as we talk about that word accountability, what is something you would have did different or something you wouldn't have done different when it comes into accountability?
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I asked that question, but I feel like
I do my homework too.
But I feel like something I could have done differently. Like, sometimes you let I wouldn't say crowd, but the people hype your head up a little bit, and I feel like I feel like I like to say I'm very mature and very wordy. Like, I know how to like speak for myself and stuff, but sometimes you gotta know who you talking to in the moment. So next time I'll probably like get administration or like
There you go.
I sometimes you gotta learn how to just let the situation be what it's gonna be and go on with your day, because sometimes it be just small as a little dust on the floor. So next time I'll probably just be a little bit more mature about the situation and go get administration.
Sounds like a plan. And what you just said in a nutshell, you read the room. You got to read I think that's something I would love if I was to teach like a workshop or a seminar to high school students. It'd be reading the room,
Yeah.
So certain aspects, shouldn't be addressed if certain people are around, or if it's time to lock in, it's time to lock in because that person is expecting you to lock in for this month. You just got to read the room. This question, of course, is for Lyrique. Lyrique, when I ask you this, when it comes in terms of accountability, what is one thing that just pops in your head when it comes to how we can strengthen our school culture through the lens of accountability?
I feel like both teachers and students need to be able to take accountability. And accountability isn't just realizing what you did wrong and acknowledging the fact that it's wrong, but making the effort to change what you did wrong and make sure it doesn't happen again. I would say there's a lot of times where us as students fall short and adults fall short as well, but it's more of being able to respectfully check each other and let each other know, like, hey, this bothered me. I didn't like how you spoke to me about this. And the teacher being able to go, well, you came at me this way, and so I didn't really appreciate this, and this is why I responded that way. And both of you guys being able to reflect and go, okay, so then we both know what triggers each other, and we're not going to keep doing that thing to prevent any other situations from happening.
Wow. Identification process, respect, which we talked about at the beginning of our show, and which we're concluding on now. This is, I kind of, I like to be short and I like these shows to be short and powerful because we've been said some bars on here. You get what I'm saying? And I don't want to get the drawn out. So I'm going to give my last question to each one of you, starting on my left. All right. All right. Because I went to my right already. So on my left, one, and you three can process. But Nyriah, I'm putting you in a hot seat, of course. One thing that just pops in your mind that you would want to see implemented in efforts to change the school culture at HFCA.
That's a really good question. I feel like HFCA as a whole is a good school. Number one, I'll start there. But one, I feel like when you think of like HFCA or like just it individually, because this question Bijo asked, I feel like everybody that's listening to this should reflect on. I feel like we should be able to like come to school, have a family-oriented community, and we should leave the problems, anything that we feel towards each other outside the door, because at the end of the day, we love each other, and I feel like God has put us on the world for a purpose. So just let's live in our purpose and let's do what's good for the world.
Wow. Man, she just won. She did that. Like, she stepped up and said, the Academy Award winner goes to. Yeah, you had that ready. All right, y'all. I'll go right to, from here, let us know. Oteria, what's one thing that pops in your head,
You
we
haven't
like,
got her name right this whole time, B. Joe. You keep messing her name
I
up.
said Cloteria.
It's Catori.
There's no L.
No, you told me L.
I didn't say no L.
I've been calling her Cloteria.
Right.
So is this Cloteria?
No.
It's
Catori.
Catori.
Cloteria. Hey,
But even then, she
listeners,
didn't get mad. You
hey,
see?
apologies. This is an example of what we're talking about. She didn't feel disrespected. Y'all laughed a little bit, and I felt bad on the inside. A tear might come down when I leave the camera. But I am deeply saddened. I mean, not sad, but apologetic that I've been saying your name wrong.
It's okay, BJ.
There's
That's why you're
accountability.
my girl. Go ahead.
Can you repeat the questions for me?
So, just one thing that comes to your mind in terms of accountability that you can utilize to change this school culture, or you would want to see implemented to change the culture for better.
I feel like what really comes to me is that I think people in the school and just in general in the environment need to understand you don't have to do tit for tat. Just because this person did that or you did that don't mean
That
you
is
have to do
powerful.
something back.
Sheesh.
Like accountability is both ways. Like, yeah, I did that. I'm going to take responsibility for it. Like, yeah, I did that. I did my wrong. It does not mean I have to go do this, do that. I don't have to go back and forth with a teacher. I don't have to do that. I feel like to understand tit for tat is not needed. It just causes unnecessary drama.
Ooh, hey, I'm getting ready to put that on my social hashtag. Tit for tat is tit for tat.
Take your time.
Tit for tat is not accountability.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. We need a shirt that say that.
Miss Lloyd.
Let me go make my poster real quick.
It's not. Hey,
Mm.
you going some places.
No, you gotta say.
Yes,
tit-
RedGen is
No,
going
you
some
gotta
places.
say tit for tat ain't that.
Yes.
For tat ain't
Okay, y'all hear us?
Wait. Okay.
B.
Marianne, you know the question. I already know. Let me hear what you got to say about it.
Personally, I feel like our school should start acting like how our school is supposed to act. Like when you think of our school, you just think of like high class, up rank, the best school in Milwaukee. So I wish everybody would fall in line and act that way. Like we have some of the best stuff. Our school, it don't look like no other school. We got $1 million
Amen to
studio.
that.
We got all these materials, opportunities. So I feel like I wish everybody would just fall in line and, respect our environment and just start acting how the image of a Dr. Howard Fuller kid should act. And same for teachers, because in some situations, we don't really act like a Fuller, a Fuller scholar or an image of Dr. Howard Fuller.
Mhm.
Some stuff get crazy and all of that. But I feel like because our school is just so high class, I feel like we should all be that way.
And when he means high class listeners, it's in such a humility mindset. I'm not saying we better than others, but it is saying that we stand on the back of individual icons, city icons the reason why we're in these seats, they've like sacrificed so much for us to get this stuff. So now let's act like we are appreciative for their efforts. So, it's not just saying, we high class, let me go and give me some Louis or something like that, or Gucci. I ain't gonna get sidetracked like
Put you on your feet.
Lyrique, bring us home.
One thing I would say that our community needs, not even just school, is self-respect.
Mm.
And I don't mean that in like I'm attacking people way, but there's a lot of times where when we're disrespected, we tend to stop having self-respect and we allow the disrespect to get us off track. And it can be embarrassing. But I also want to say that like adults and older people that deal with younger children or the younger generation should consider the fact that, you guys are teaching and raising the future generation, the people who are going to have to take care of you when you're old. So teach us how to be respectful. Teach us in your image. Teach us what you want to see in the future. Don't treat us how you were treated when you were younger, because that's that generational trauma, and we want to break the cycles. Let's not keep it going.
Generational trauma. Bars. Let me go in and booth and record that, girl. Hey, on behalf of RedGen, Ms. Lloyd, everybody giving us this opportunity, to all the adults and students that's listening, my message is just be patient, because as you can see, these are jewels to the left and right of me. So, until next time, RedGen, we are casting off. I can't wait for the next episode. Thanks again.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.